Thanks very much, David. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Great stuff. So I'm just going to try and share my screen, or Clara, if you could share the screen, please.
Sure.
It might be simpler. Yeah, look, I know everyone's probably pretty hungry at this stage, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I suppose my angle coming in, as I said, presentation is promoting sustainable and responsible tourism in Ireland. But I think as much as anything, I'm coming from the business case here, that the role of business in sustainability and the tourism business there. You might have seen just the previous slide. Vagabond is B Corp certified, which one of the slogans for the B Corp movement is using business for a force for good, and I think we have to believe and energize business towards sustainability. I think that's absolutely vital. So maybe if you could move on there, Clara. I think the next slide has been covered. That's just the boring bit about me. And then going on to Sustainable Travel Ireland. So as was mentioned, my background is originally from touring. I own and run Vagabond Tours. And a few years ago, we were certified by Ecotourism Ireland, as mentioned by Carol there and Mary Mulvey. We were the first tour company in Ireland to achieve gold standard ecotourism certification, and really there were several reasons why we went for it. One is we've always been sustainable at our core, but also we realised that things need to change. The way tourism is operating at the moment is simply just not sustainable over the long term, over the next 50 years or so, and so we wanted to make a change. So we did that. We went through certification, that was great, but then we thought, well, how can we make a bigger impact and a more positive impact? So we actually went back to Ecotourism Ireland, the certification body. I think we were the last company to be certified by them, and to cut a long story short, we liked the business so much that we bought it. And since then, we've made some fairly significant changes, and it's now called Sustainable Travel Ireland, or STI, which is an unfortunate but memorable acronym. And so our aim really is to bring sustainability to Irish tourism. We work very closely with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, which is the UN-mandated body to promote sustainable tourism. It was created back I forgot now, but it was kind of as a response to all the greenwashing that was going on, and to try and set down some baseline standards that companies can work from, and as moving towards sustainability. So their definition, and I know it's already been mentioned with the Vice model, is tourism that takes full account of its current and future environmental, social, and economic impacts, addressing the needs of the visitor, the industry, the environment, and communities in equal measure. Actually, I think we added in equal measure, but there you go. So we are training and aiming to certify as many tourism companies as possible in a high quality, with a high quality set of criteria for both for ecotourism companies. We also can certify tour companies and also hotels and accommodation. And I think look, certification is not the be all and end all. But it has been proven to make a difference. TUI, for example, the world's largest tour company, are now starting to insist on certification in a lot of their hotels. And what they have found is that when companies do become certified, they outperform non-certified companies by double-figure digits in energy and waste production and consumption, in customer satisfaction, and also when it comes to the bottom line. So it does help, or it does make a massive difference. We also want to build the community of sustainable tourism businesses within Ireland, and the networking and the business opportunities that come with it. So maybe if I could just move on there, Clara. Must have skipped a beat, but never mind. So for us, a large part of it is building the business case for sustainability. To get the businesses on board and realize, I think for a lot of business people, it's a bit of a scary thought. Where do they start? Will they be judged? What does it mean? Whereas, in fact, really, sustainable business is good business, and it's getting that message out there, and that's something that we're really trying to focus on. It's not something to be scared of. It is the future. If we want tourism to to survive as we know it and to improve, and for the visitor experience to remain fantastic, and for communities to benefit, then it is really good for business. So maybe if we could move on there again, Clara. Here's a quote from Neil Carson, the CEO of Johnson Matthey, back in 2010. Until everybody on the planet gets sustainability, there's a real competitive advantage in moving in this direction. And he's obviously right, because he can afford to buy himself a nice Jaguar E-Type. So he obviously has a competitive advantage. But I think there is an opportunity specifically at this time as well, with the impact of the COVID pandemic. My own business, Vagabond, has completely ground to a halt, and we haven't done a tour in over 12 months, and we're not alone. But it does give businesses a chance to take an aerial look at how they operate, and destinations, how they operate, and as Orla said, to build back better. And I think we're going to see a greater and greater demand from that. In fact, we are seeing it already. We're seeing it, say, from TUI, other large tour operators and trade channels, for example, Intrepid, Travel Corporation. Consumer research is showing that the consumers are now prepared to pay more for a sustainable product, and now is the time to stop, reimagine ourselves, and to make a difference. When we're putting across the sustainability message and the business case, we actually narrowed it down. I was giving a talk the other day, and narrowed it down to some of the things we did at Vagabond, and how it was good for business. So maybe, Clara, if we could move on to the next slide. There's that slide I was looking for earlier. So I mean, what are we trying to do? We're trying to change mindsets. We really do need to be looking at 50-year stress tests for the major business decisions that we're making now. The other message is that it doesn't have to be earth-shattering changes. A small change, changing your fridges to be 10% less, to 10% more efficient, things like that. Obviously, decarbonising our transport is going to make a massive impact, and building the community to make sustainable business the norm. So again, sorry, Clara, if we can move on again. But it is a win-win situation, and this is what I was saying. We did an analysis of the measures that we took within a business, and to see if we could break it down a bit, and what were the costs, and what were the time involved, and what were the benefits. So we could break it down into a few things. So there was the cost-saving elements. The capital investments, for example, that brought a tangible cost saving. So changing the LED lights, the lights to LED, putting in solar panels. We managed to reduce our energy consumption by 2/3 overnight. There's grants, there's capital allowance fundings, there is capital, there's financial incentives, and then of course there's behavioural changes that don't really cost a huge amount, but they can result in cost savings as well. Switching off the lights, some of the things we do, you can do on the operational side, that can make a difference. But also, I think in a lot of cases for businesses, it's not just about the cost savings; it's about the opportunity creation that we need to focus on as well. You can investment that can lead to opportunities. In the case of Vagabond, for example, is to sell more tours. It's taking our story, going for certification, using that to promote themselves with confidence. So there's investment in that, and also financial investment, but also in terms of time and money that leads to opportunities. And then other stuff is just sensible business decisions that can lead to a sustainable outcome. For example, we wanted to give away some nice merchandise to customers when they came on tour. There was a customer feedback said that this is what they wanted. We tried T-shirts, but they never fitted, so we decided to start giving away stainless steel water bottles. And so no extra cost, but by doing so, we could massively reduce the use of single-use plastic by our customers. And it was a positive impact, and it was a quality solution. The other measure that we took is investing in people as well, and I think any business or community has found that you can take certain measures, but you also need to train and invest and change behaviour. And likewise again with the bottles as well. But I think what the very smallest section of commitments that we've made, either in terms of time or times of financial investment or time would be those that have actually created no return whatsoever for our business. There's virtually none whatsoever, but have a positive impact on a sustainable thing. So from a business point of view, the only one I can really think of are bird and bat boxes, which haven't haven't had any commercial value, but obviously important from a sustainability point of view. So I suppose the message I'm trying to get across here, and what we're trying to get across to the business community, is that it is sensible business to start moving in a sustainable direction, and I think it is a message that is coming across. And maybe if we could go on to the next slide. Actually, sorry, I did have another slide there as well. That basically there was a hotelier in Killarney who has made massive changes to their operation procedures and cut out single-use plastic and on all their energy use and everything like that. Saves them on approximately 200,000 euros a year, which is, if he's working on a 20% margin, that's the equivalent of over €1 million in business generation to begin with. So it is a very, very tangible saving, tangible benefit. But I think the other thing as well, and I think that's why and listening to the talks this morning has come up time and time again, collaboration is absolutely vital. That's one thing we realize we can't go it alone. Even the tiny little things like a water bottle. You give a customer a water bottle on a tour, which is great, but where do they fill it up? So you need to start collaborating with your suppliers along the route of a tour, so that they can supply clean, chilled drinking water for your customers. But there's absolutely no doubt that moving forward, we need a collaboration of the business, in the industry, local and national government, the tourist boards, academia, and the other one I think that hasn't been mentioned so far is probably the travel associations as well, from organisations such as the Hotels Federation, tour operators, which can have huge influence over the behaviour of their members. So I think this was a quote I heard the other day: "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." And I think that would be a strong message that we'd like to put out there as well. So I mean, look, I was going to cut it short, kind of there, to be honest. I think everyone's probably a bit talked out at this stage. So look, thanks very much.